Here's a brief presentation of the fictional data. Okay, first of all, there were 500 people in the group, and they were all recent high school graduates that enrolled at Southwestern College in 2011 and successfully transferred to a four-year institution. So the variables were ethnicity, high school GPA, Southwestern College GPA, the number of units completed, whether they were given a remedial course, their majors, their age, their gender, and whether they got financial aid or not. So what I did was I put the different ethnicities into 6 different groups. Latino, that was Central American Hispanic, and the others, Pacific Islander, Filipino, Pacific Islander, Guamanian, Asian, anybody from Asia, white, black, other, and then the last one was declined to state. So using these 7 new categories instead of the 18, I split them up into what percent from these ethnicities were coming in. And there they are, right? Latino is the largest by far, followed by white. And I made a bar graph that it would show. So again, Latino, about half the people in this group were Latino, and coming in number 2 is the whites. And then blacks and Pacific Islanders are relatively even. And here's a pie chart. The green is Latino, and the yellow is white. So it kind of gives us a snapshot of the makeup of the ethnicities. Moving on to high school GPAs. The average for everybody was 2.97 with the standard deviation and the standard error, confidence interval, and the range. That one's kind of low. That one kind of surprised me. And here's high school GPAs by ethnicity. These are the decline to state at the end, this end, and other at the other end. I'm not really going to focus on these two, but everybody in the middle. So Latino, Pacific Islander, they're all really close to each other. Okay, and that's overall GPAs. This is an error bar. This is plus or minus 2 standard deviations going up and down. Here's high school grades by gender. You can see that the females are scoring a little bit higher than the males. Again, this is a plus or minus 2 standard deviations. Here's high school GPA by major, relatively close together. Vocational is kind of high. That kind of caught me by surprise. And this split up the high school GPAs by whether they got a remedial course or not. So those that didn't get a remedial course, they're way up here. Those that got math, right about 2.60, ESL about the same, English, remedial English under 2.50, and reading about 2.50. So now we're switching to the Southwestern College GPAs. There's the mean and the standard deviation and confidence interval and range, etc. And again, that's a D. That kind of surprised me. But here's the Southwestern GPAs by ethnicity. Again, decline to state, other. I'm not overly worried about that. But it looks like the Asians have the highest GPA, closely followed by the whites and Pacific Islanders. Blacks are the lowest by a little bit. Latinos are right about there. By gender, the females are higher than the males again. And here's the GPAs by major. You'll notice that the vocational went down a lot. It was highest with the high school, but now it's the lowest in the Southwestern College. And those that got the remedial courses, these are their average GPAs at Southwestern College. Those that didn't get any, again, are still really high. And this one shows the comparison of high school grades versus Southwestern College grades by ethnicity. And overall, it looks like most of the people went down. So, in other words, that their Southwestern College GPA went down a little bit from their high school GPA, but not with every case here, okay? So, but the average change was minor. It was minus 0.08. So we're switching to the units completed variable. So this is everybody, units completed. I notice you got some people way out here to 125. That's kind of a lot. So this is the first category, undecided. Most people at this in the data set were undecided. So again, you still have a lot of people way out here on the fringe, 120. That's a lot of classes for not making up their mind. And units completed by ethnicity. Pretty close to the same, right? They're all really close to 40 here, except for the undecided or declined to state and the other. Remedial courses by all. Okay, so 300 did not, but that means 200 did, which comes out to about 40% of these students got at least one remedial course. And the remedial course by ethnicity, so Latino, most did not get one, but then some got math and ESL, right? Pacific Islander, Asian, white. And I'm just working with the largest population ethnicity with Latinos here. So roughly about 45 of them got remedial math. About 20 got remedial ESL. About 15 got remedial English. And about, 25 got remedial reading. I split all the majors up into different categories. Undecided, number one again. But I split them into health, STEM, business, liberal arts, vocational, law enforcement, self-improvement. So easier to deal with the data. So here's all majors broken up. Undecided by far is the king. But it looks like number two is health. So all the health fields. And the liberal arts is pretty high in the STEM, which was kind of exciting to me, being a math guy and all. But here's the majors in a pie chart. The green one is undecided. And this, what would you call that, a beige, I guess, is health. Majors by Latino ethnicity. So most Latinos are still undecided. But it looks like health, STEM, liberal arts are pretty close together. And law enforcement is right up there. Majors by gender. So this one, the health seems to be dominated by females, and the STEM seems to be dominated by males, and liberal arts seems to be dominated by females. Everybody else is pretty close together. And here's all the different ages, 19, 20, 21, and 22. So here's gender. Mostly females, okay, 56% females, 44% males with one missing. Here's gender by ethnicity. So you have more Latinas than Latinos. In fact, you got more females than males in every category except for the white category. Who got financial aid and who didn't? It almost got split exactly in half, right? Half and half. Financial aid by ethnicities, they're like mirror images of each other, so ethnicity had nothing to do with whether they got financial aid or not. And there's a lot of other different kind of graphs we could put up there, but this is the stuff that I thought would be interesting. And so now we're going to move on into inferences. Time to run some analyses. So the first one I did was there any kind of significant differences in the high school grades between the ethnicities? So I ran a one-way ANOVA. It was not significant. Unfortunately, it did violate the assumption of normality, so I ran the Kruskal-Wallis test, the non-parametric test, got the same result, right? There was no significant difference. Inference number two, there was a significant difference in Southwestern College GPAs between ethnicities. I ran a one-way ANOVA, and it was significant. Okay, the effect size was about 0.06, about 6%, which is kind of, not the greatest thing in the world, but the power was 99.99. And again, it violated the assumption of normality, so I ran the non-parametric version of the ANOVA, and I did get the same results. We get to reject the null, so that means there was a significant difference in there somewhere. So I ran a post hoc test, the Tukey least significant difference test, and it said that the significant differences were between the white and Latino students and the white and the black students. Next, significant difference in the genders of Southwestern college grades. So I ran an independent t-test, and it was, in fact, significant with an effect size of about 0.01, which is not the strongest in the world. The females were scoring a little bit higher. That was shown on the graph as well. But this proves that there was a significant difference between males and females, Southwestern College GPAs. Was there a significant difference between the high school and the college grades? I ran a paired t-test this time, and it did show that there was a significant difference. The average high school grade was 2.97. The average GPA for Southwestern College was 2.89, and that is considered significantly different. I was curious if there was a correlation between high school grades and Southwestern College grades, and there was a significant correlation. It was 0.095. We round that to 0.1. Again, not the strongest in the world, but it is significant. So now I was curious if ethnicity had to do anything with a student getting a remedial class. So I ran a chi-squared test, and there was a significant chi-squared. Kramer's V was about 0.143. So in other words, about 14% of the variance can be explained by ethnicity when it came to getting a remedial. So I looked at the expected values, and the largest difference was for Latinos and ESL. So in other words, Latinos have a stronger probability of ending up in the ESL remedial class. And that's about it for now. That's the main things I wanted to touch base with you guys. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.